The BJP Central Election Committee held a meeting to finalize the names of the Karnataka candidates. The Prime Minister was part of the meeting, and pictures that have just come in show that the meeting is over. The Prime Minister has just left from the meeting. Elections are due on the 10th of May, and it has come as a surprise to many that a party which tends to decide its candidates much ahead of others has chosen to wait it out till now this time around. The Congress released 2 lists of candidates for the 228-member assembly. A list of 41 candidates was released this week after the first list of 124 that was announced late last month. The JDS was even swifter, announcing their names pretty much towards the end of last year itself. The BJP has undertaken an elaborate and micro-selection process. Local leaders were asked to vote for the best 3 candidates from a seat. Names of top 3 candidates were then tallied with the internal surveys and opinion polls. This, as being an incumbent, the challenges for the BJP remain many, from corruption allegations to threats of defection. But for the Congress too, there are many challenges. First, the regional satraps themselves, Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, both at the moment looking like they are competing for the top job of the Chief Minister already if the party comes to power, and also trying to woo the powerful voter segment, that's the Lingayats, seems to be a challenge for the Congress. So what strategy have the various parties, what are they using as they announce their candidates, and why, most importantly, is the BJP choosing to announce the names only now, just a month before polls, leaving the candidates with what might look like very little time to prepare on the ground? That's our discussion this evening, and we're going across now to our guest, Shazia Elmi, spokesperson of the BJP, Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the Congress Party, T.M. Veeraraghav, executive editor, BQ Prime, senior journalist, M. Arivalagan, spokesperson of the JDS, and Manisha Priyam, political analyst and researcher. Shazia Elmi, coming first to you. Is defection a concern for the BJP? Is that why the candidate list is being released only after pretty much the party knows that the Congress and JDS, they've already, decided names on various seats, and therefore the chances of people deserting the party if their names are not mentioned in the list become much lesser?
Well, anybody who follows the processes that BJP engages in ticket selection and allocation of tickets to various candidates would know that there is no one-size-fits-all. The very fact that there are so many takers in Karnataka means that it is a very sought-after party whose ticket is being contested over, which is why not only are there internal surveys, but also a kind of a priority being given to, an option being given to party workers, as well as internal reports which are being relied upon to choose between candidates as to who can be the best amongst them constituency-wise. So various number of factors, various factors are being taken into account to ascertain who will be the match for which constituency. And that process is being undertaken at different levels, actually. Okay. Constituency level, district and state level, and also at the national level.
All right.
Which is exactly why today there was a long meeting amongst various stakeholders, and this is being discussed.
All right. Manisha Priyam, do you buy that argument that there is a meticulous process that the BJP is undertaking? Because going by how the party functions, they always have this process of screening for a candidate. Why do you think the BJP has shifted from the norm of choosing their candidates much earlier, delaying their list this time around in Karnataka?
So certainly the BJP works very meticulously. BJP is a party on the ground. Remember, it's the only southern state that the BJP has had in its fold and has a lot of ground presence. So being meticulous is not something, it's beyond doubt that they are careful. But it is also the fact that a lot of the current BJP strong representatives are people who or they've come from the JDS. There is likely to be a conflict between the Congress crossovers and the Karyakartas on the ground. That's one part of the conflict. The second is, how many of the crossovers do you give tickets to? And if you give tickets to too many of the crossovers, it means that your own old party loyalists might want to switch over sides then. Now, how do you when you have a number of, remember last time around, the BJP was not able to come out with a majority of its own. That has meant that the government that has been there, whether it's been of Mr. Yediyurappa or of Basuraj Bommai, has had a lot of crossovers. Mr. Bommai himself is not a BJP old seasoned hand. So to that extent, a party that has had a strong, solid, core of Karyakartas and a party of its own in the south, that has to work with crossovers. So this is something that is, it's very open and evident that they will have to now say that once we have got you over, now our gates are closed. And finally, I think even the crossovers will feel the heat of the BJP discipline and they will realize that the BJP is also a very disciplined party. And I think the names have been finalized far ahead of time, again, this time also. But they are being announced just before the nomination process begins and, just leaving the floor crossovers very little time. The usual Karnataka politics of sweeping over and going to other parties, if I don't get ticket here, I will use the arm twisting mechanism. That's seeing a counter back from a large party like the BJP.
All right, so that's perhaps the strategy that you are saying that the BJP is utilizing right now. But Aishwarya Mahadev, despite having a large chunk of names already announced, there are some seats, for instance, Kolar, where glaringly, the suspense continues. Why so for the Congress party?
Good evening, Maha. I think the Congress party, well ahead of time, has declared candidates for 166 seats. The problem for the Congress party this time was that there were several aspirants and, in some seats, more than 20 aspirants for every single seat. So the last 58 seats that are there are almost finalized. But now we've already released 166 names and all the candidates are on the ground already working. It's just about the B forms and the last list will be finalized. And I beg to differ with a few of my previous speakers. I think the BJP's list is not finalized because it's a meticulous long drawn process. It is because both the JDS and the BJP are waiting to see that if dissidents of my party that have not been accommodated or even spoken to, or they do not feel satisfied with the leadership trying to tell them that we will give them an opportunity if they cross over. And I think that is also one of the reasons why you haven't seen even a single name, including the name of your chief ministerial candidate or which seat he's contesting from, being declared, Maha.
All right. Veera Raghav, is crossover really a big problem for the BJP? Is there a problem of plenty now?
It's not so much crossover. Crossover is one part of it, Maha. I think one needs to wait and see. Look, BJP will be announcing its list either tonight or tomorrow. There are two aspects here, and it's a challenge for all political parties. If you take a region like Dakshin Kannada, where the BJP sweeps, there's no problem in terms of ticket distribution. When it comes to the other seats, the BJP has two issues. Now, one is anti-incumbency, and they would like to put fresh candidates in space. In that place, but the problem is winnability as well. This is traditional Karnataka history where you have about 70 seats which shift between the parties consistently election after election. Now, winnability of these candidates is extremely important. Obviously, each party, and I think it's unfair to say that it's only the BJP which is having a problem. The Congress also will be looking very closely at how to allot seats, because ultimately, I think you win or lose a Karnataka election when it comes to seat allocation, because it's an arithmetic election, which is why the Congress would also be very closely looking at the old Mysore region and in closely contested seats. They would have to be very careful in their seat selection. For the BJP, the problem is twinfold. One is the regular Karnataka problem. The other is fighting anti-incumbency. How are they going to bring in fresh faces? How many incumbents are going to be given tickets? Now, if you deny an incumbent ticket, what's going to be the retaliation and reaction that's going to come through? So I guess that's what's taking time.
M. Arivalagan, does announcing names earlier on give any advantage to the candidates?
Definitely, madam. Definitely, it has given a very, very good advantage for the local party JDS. And you will be knowing that we have declared almost all 123 candidate in month of December. Apart from that, our chief minister candidate, the present only chief minister candidate in all the three parties, when concern is only with JDS. There is no chief minister candidate in BJP. There is no chief minister candidate in Congress. And moreover, our Kumarana has almost all gone through more than 110 constituency by name known as a Pancha Ratna program. And almost all he has reached to the down to earth of the people. And as of now, we are very much confident we are going to win this election.
Shazia Ilmi, you know, for the BJP, even as the CEC has just ended, there are reports that there are at least 40 seats where the party is still in a quandary, and the party might release those 40 lists, 40 names much later, by April 20th, which is the last day for candidates to file their nominations. As I was asking Veera Raghav, is this a problem of plenty, or is this simply to arrest any rebellion? Because the fact is that one report of the BJP suggested that local leaders in the BJP have a stronghold in many of the areas, and replacing them with fresher blood might have a backlash for the party.
So I think different constituencies represent and come up with different issues. So I do not think it's going to be a very simple method whereby this will be assessed. I think a number of factors will work here, but I just want to make 2 points. You know, the issue of crossovers, as was being mentioned by the predecessing speakers. You know, while I agree, but there is no CM that is being announced, but there is no issue of the CM candidate in the BJP. There is no fighting, and there is no enmity which is rife and open, such as what we see in the Congress party. One.
Madam,
Two,
how many times did your party come to the power with?
Second, I want to make another point. Yeah, if I can finish. Second point that I want to make is, if you see the Congress's second list, there are 2 crossovers from BJP who have been accommodated, which is in Gurkal seat and Gopala Krishna from Mulakalmuru. So this remains a problem for all parties to accommodate people who are crossing over. So if BJP takes its time and looks at various factors constituency-wise, looking at all the factors that matter, I think
but Shazia Ilmi, the point of crossovers is being made specifically for the BJP, because you did get a number of MLAs by means of which the government actually came into being for the BJP in Karnataka. Will that factor not be important to be able to give them their due?
On the contrary, in fact, it was the other way around. We all know when there is no mandate that is given to any one party in particular, and when there is a fractured mandate, it is the single largest party, according to Bomai recommendation, that gets to make the government.
But there was an up and running government. There was an up and running government. I think Veera Raghav wants to come in. Just a second.
Let me finish. Okay. And it was the BJP actually, which actually should have made the government. It was the crossover and the unholy alliance of others which took away the right and the mandate and actually worked against the will of the people.
But Shazia, how do you call the coming together of a coalition and unholy alliance? Veera Raghav?
Historically, the BJP has never got a simple majority in Karnataka.
Just a second,
Shazia.
And we know how.
Okay, let Veera Raghav make his point. Shazia, I'll come back to you, Shazia.
How he cried and what all he had to endure.
You made your point, Shazia Ilmi. Okay, yes. You made your point, Veera Raghav.
I think it's a little more difficult an issue for the BJP, primarily because the BJP has never been able to get a simple majority in Karnataka. They have had to depend on people from other political parties as well as ideologies to join the party to get the numbers that's required. So yes, I think it's important that one needs to, lay out the ground realities for the BJP as well. Seat distribution is an important exercise, because if you want to get that number, they need to be very careful about who they're going to pick up. It cannot just be from the party's core vote base. As I pointed out earlier, in a place like Dakshin Kannada, it would be very easy for the BJP to pick up tickets because the party wins. It's not the candidate which wins. In other parts of Karnataka, especially central Karnataka, Hyderabad Karnataka, Old Mysore region, it's the candidates who win. The party doesn't win. And this is true large to the BJP. It's also true for the Congress. There are about 70 seats in Karnataka, Maha, which shift from one side to the other in every election. Now here the candidates rule the roost. I mean, how are you going to, as much as it's a question for the BJP, it's also a question for the Congress on how the 17 MLAs from Congress and JDS could just resign, move to another party, win the election on another party's ticket, become ministers, and how is the Congress dealing with it? They will all have to deal with this issue.
Manisha, Priyam, you want to come in here because the point here is, as Veera Raghav is making, it's not just the party but the candidates too that is important, and there the community or the caste breakup might also play a very important point. Do you think that the Congress over these years has been able to go back and woo the Lingayats, which is a very strong voter base for the BJP?
I mean, traditionally for the Congress, it's not the Lingayat vote that has worked, even though last time I remember they had, the Jamwal Commission, if I'm not mistaken.
Jamdar.
They won the status of a specific, I don't think the Lingayat factor worked for the Congress party then. So the Congress will have to rely on its old strategy of looking at regions, and it's done that. It's the Ahinda coalition that Siddaramaiah has put together, Mallikarjun Kharge in the leadership position, and then some amount of Vokkaliga votes with DK Shivakumar in position. So a coalition of caste groups working across the regions and
all right, we seem to be losing the audio there with Manisha. Priya, we'll go back to her in a bit, but I think Aishwarya Mahadev wanted to make a point. Aishwarya, also the fact that, DK Shivakumar has said that Rahul Gandhi's scheduled visit to Karnataka in Kolar now has been moved to 16th of April. I think this is the 4th time that it has been rescheduled from the 5th, 6th, 9th, 10th to now 16th. He says this is because candidates are still being finalized. So there is problem as far as candidate selection is concerned, and even for the Congress party, is it?
It is not about a problem of candidate selection at all. It is the third list where we want to take everybody into confidence. We want to ensure dissidence is at a low, and after which we want to show off strength with Mr. Rahul Gandhi with all our 224 candidates if possible. But a few responses, Maha, when the JDS spokesperson says we have 100 plus seats, no sir, it's 93 seats that have been declared. But the fact is their ticket is stalled because the brothers, their CM face and the CM face's brother are fighting over the brother's wife's ticket in Hassan, and the entire list is stalled. One. Second, it is very funny that, Ms. Shazia Ilmi talks about strife, and on your own screen there are 4 faces of the BJP and the internal strife that is there. You forgot to add Murgesh Nirani and Basraj Yatnal from Bijapur. And last, Maha, when, it's obviously holy when the BJP allies with the PDP somewhere, but then a legitimately elected coalition government in Karnataka is toppled after Mr. Yediyurappa had 3 days or 2 days as chief minister, if I'm not wrong. And the whole operation in Bombay was starkly visible to everybody. To say they were a legitimately elected government is an absolute insult, one, to me as a Kannadiga. And finally, I believe the BJP's list is delayed because they are looking at the highest anti-incumbency they have ever faced, especially with this 40% commission government that they're running. So much so that Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi seem to be here every 3rd day. This is the 8th visit of the Prime Minister to this state, which is unprecedented. But nothing can save them. Absolutely nothing, because we believe very firmly that people are going to vote out the BJP.
That's the view of the Congress party, that nothing can save the BJP government or make them come back. But at the end of the day, they managed to form a government even last time, despite the fact that a coalition was cobbled up. I'll come to you, Shazia Ilmi. Mr. Arivalgan, how will you ensure that your candidates, like last time, so many candidates from the JDS and the Congress went the other side? Shazia Ilmi, I'll come to you, ma'am. I'll come to you.
Small point is only 30 seconds. DK Shivakumar or Siddaramaiah's government can ensure, I don't know what 40% or any percent commission government. I have no idea. Or they can even ensure.
You have no idea about Karnataka. That's the problem.
It's another story. So without getting into that, you can show as many faces here. But when it comes to discipline of Bharatiya Janata Party, in dealing with
have
and
you
having...
seen Ramesh Jarkiholy's statement? Have you seen Murugesh Nirani? Basraj Yatnal said 2,000 crores for a chief minister.
In various states.
There is no discipline in your party. Madal Virupaksappa was arrested for having 8 crores in cash in his hand taking a bribe. You protected him. Your Haveri MLA was jailed. Your Murugeri MLA was disqualified.
I think
that is the
All right.
reality.
I'll have to come in here. I'll request both the ladies to just hold their breath at this point. We'll come back to you. But Mr. Arivalgan, the question is that even if you choose candidates, for instance, if they are hopping over to the other side just so that, as many allege, they're getting a better deal, they are getting to be part of a government, then how do you ensure this time around that the candidates you have chosen will be loyal to your party?
No, this time it is made very clearly we are going to get the majority. There is no necessity our MLA going into other party. And as a game which have been planned by both Congress and BJP last time, that is not going to happen this time. Yeah. Why? Because we will be reaching almost all, at least we will have simple majority to sit. And that is no question of rises that our party members are going to other party. And moreover, here
but
it's
it has
very
happened
clear.
in the past. Veera Raghav, it has happened in the past.
It has happened. It has happened. We have put end to it.
There were
We have put
crossovers.
end to it. It is not going to happen
I know there is a
again.
lot of focus on BJP and Congress. I just have one question to the JDS spokesperson. Sir, what is happening in Hassan? Have you figured the way out within the family on who's going to contest?
Sir, definitely the problem in Hassan, there is no exactly problem in Hassan. It is a competition between two party workers. So
Two
definitely
family
it will be
members.
solved out by our high command. What's that?
Between a family member and a party worker.
No, even family member is also party worker and almost all belongs to Janata Dal and there is no question of family. When you take into that, even I am also a family of JDS. So whatever it is, our high command definitely within 2 or 3 days they will be solving the issue.
All right.
My concern is the only party which have declared CM candidate is Janata Dal Secular. Kumarana is the CM candidate. It is possible BJP to tell now. It is possible Congress to tell now. Congress already now there are 6 CM candidates.
In JDS.
All right. I think for the CM candidate, yes, the Congress has seen at least 2 people who've made it very public that they have chief ministerial ambitions. But as the Congress sometimes says that there is internal democracy, people are allowed to say whatever they can. But Veera Raghav, at the end of the day, if you see 2 senior leaders, Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar, openly talking about their chief ministerial ambitions, can it be detrimental to the party?
Karnataka is one state where even after the election results are over, you don't know who the winner is. The Congress will have to face that battle if it gets a majority. The BJP will have to face a similar battle if it gets a majority. The JDS doesn't have to bother much about it because if there is a coalition government, then somebody has to woo the JDS and they know who their leader is. So I guess as far as the JDS is concerned, it's God and Gowda who will decide what is going to happen. But for the other parties, the MLAs, and the real tussle will happen post May 13th.
So basically you are saying that parties will have to depend on Kingmaker JDS?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait for the election results to come. But when you want, even if they get a clear majority, I'm saying that whether it's the Congress or the BJP, even if they get a clear majority, it's going to be a tough battle ahead after that. It's not, no one's going to give up their chief ministerial ambitions very easily.
All right. So chief ministerial ambitions apart, right now we are still awaiting a list from the BJP. The Central Election Committee has just met, but we'll have to wait to see whether all the names will be announced after today's meeting or the BJP will hold on to some seats because the Congress is yet to announce some seats themselves. Many thanks to all our panelists for joining us here on this discussion this evening. With that, we're taking a very quick break. News and updates will continue. Stay with us.